Hey, for almost 10 years, I've been doing research on what's going on in people's minds and their consciousness. So questions like, do I have an inner monologue? Trying to answer that. Almost everybody thinks they have an inner monologue, but this kind of research looks at very specific moments throughout people's everyday lives. And the results can be very surprising to people. They might think they always have an inner monologue when they really often don't. Or some people never have an inner monologue.
Because I think that sort of paradox is exactly my inner experience. Like, is this deeply nothing and there's nothing going on and you're just on this autopilot? Or is it like this deep absorption in the present moment that's somehow different to that? Like, I don't think they're worlds apart, Julian. I sort of think it's somehow the same thing.
So for the last 2 years, I've been doing a project with the founder of this method, interviewing different people and making the results public and also releasing videos to YouTube. I'm making this fundraiser so I can raise funds, obviously, to make at least two more videos. So a month of really solid, concentrated work. And there's a lot I want to convey about this method. So we did one video about Carrie and her inner seeings.
I was visualizing my dad in front of me. He was younger and kind of looked how he looked when I was maybe 5 or 6.
So they can involve perspective that's physically impossible, and that's actually very hard to wrap our brains around. So I want to make a whole video addressing that. It was just too much for the first video. And then I also want to make a video on DES results of bulimia, because they go against all of the mainstream psychology on bulimia and even what bulimic participants originally thought of their own experience. And I also want to address how DES results of mental health are almost always completely different from mainstream psychology. And that's because we focus first on people, on individual instances of experience, and then build up from there. And we try to eliminate all theories and all presuppositions about what experience is. And that's different from mainstream psychology, because often that focuses on creating categories and then making tests to kind of evaluate people based on these categories. And after going through DES, this is what Carrie has to say about going and getting an ADHD test.
And the entire time that I was taking the test, I was thinking about DES, because I was like, I don't know any of the answers to these questions. And this is how they're going to decide if I need medication or not.
So as you see, after she went through the careful process of DES, these, beeps in her everyday life, and these lengthy interviews about them, really trying to untangle what was going on, she found the ADHD, multiple choice questionnaire completely inadequate. She didn't know how to answer these questions. They were just simply impossible for her. So I'm kind of giving away what the point of one of these videos is going to be. But basically, I think psychology has to be remade, focusing on our experience first and building up from there, focusing on what's actually going on in our minds, taking people as individuals, not just as, statistical numbers to be aggregated and averaged, and then medications to be prescribed based on multiple choice questionnaires. So that's the idea. Trying to raise some money. It's all just going towards, getting me fed and my rent paid while I try to edit like a maniac, trying to convey this knowledge. I want to bring it outside of academia, outside of specialist journals read by just a few people, where you have to write in language that nobody else can understand. I want to make it understandable to everybody. So I'd really appreciate if you contribute. Peace.